Chapter 14.
You've reached Mr. Miller's cell phone. How may I help you?
Ugh, Fiona. I'd like to speak to Grayson, please. I attempted politeness, even though I knew it wouldn't be returned.
He's in a meeting right now. May I take a message?
Fiona asked. It's really important that I talk to him. When will he be free?
I really couldn't say.
Will he be free in an hour?
No.
Will he be free in 4 hours?
No.
I clenched the phone. Will he be free at 8 this evening?
No.
Fiona, this is important. When can I speak with him?
Never. I heard you married his brother. Very calculating of you, but you forfeited the grand prize.
Exactly. Grayson is all yours, I gritted. I just need to speak with him.
Sorry, not going to happen. Maybe on your 1-year anniversary.
It was no use spinning my wheels. I'd need punching bag therapy for a month if I continued. You win, Fiona. I'm done trying to call Grayson. He's all yours.
It's a shame you had to learn the hard way, but it's for the best. I'm his perfect partner.
Yes, I'm sure the Millers will delight in a non-medicated psycho as a new addition to their family, I said, pressing end so I didn't have to hear her retort. Clearly, Grayson did not regain control of his office or penthouse. 3 months ago, it would have taken an hour in front of the bag and a gallon of sweat to compose myself. Now, it just took a deep breath and a phone call to his mom. Schoolyard Vegas style? I grinned. How to proceed, I wondered. There had to be thousands of Millers. I didn't know her first name, and I didn't know where she lived. This could prove to be a challenge. I dialed Maya on the way down to Frankie's. When the call went to voicemail, I stuffed my phone into my pocket and rapped on Frankie's door. I wasn't expecting Maya to answer the phone, but it was worth a shot. I hoped she was okay.
I'm busy.
Frankie shouted. Frankie, open up! I need your help!
Didn't you hear me? I'm busy.
His voice was high-pitched and frantic, which meant Frankie was nearing a meltdown. Open the door and let me help, I said, shaking my head. Whatever laid beyond that door was going to take a yachtload of patience. The door wrenched open.
You can't help. Go away.
It's about Charming's challenge, isn't it? I asked as the door was swinging shut. It stopped an inch from the jam.
It might be.
I eased the door open. Let me help you. Frankie threw up his hands and paced the living room.
This competition is about charm. You don't have an ounce of charm. How could you possibly help?
I shook off the dig since he wasn't too far off base. Do you have a plan? Some secret inner mojo?
My mojo is out of this world.
Maybe that's the difference between Charming and you. He oozes while you flaunt.
I should ooze.
He asked, appalled. I'm just saying you should take your gift and use it to serve you, I explained, using the word gift lightly. Charming can sweep a girl off her feet, but can he do the same for men? I don't think so.
But I can.
Frankie's eyes rounded.
I can do something he doesn't have a clue about.
Exactly. His whole act is gushing flowery sentiments to women. Anyone can do that. You have the advantage. I doubt any man will be charmed by such obviousness.
He has looks going for him. His fair complexion is enough to make his words superfluous.
So do you. He arched his brow.
I know I'm handsome, but he's got something more.
Nonsense, I retorted, giving me time to whip together an argument. What you need is inspiration and practice.
I get enough practice.
He said, ruffling. You hit on girls?
Well, no.
On straight men? I questioned.
I dabble here and there.
No, you don't. You give them one-liners that you know will bounce right off.
I give them the look, too.
I've seen that look. It won't win this competition. Frankie exhaled and threw his arms in the air.
I give up. What do you think he'll make me do for a week?
Fix the turret, shine his shoes, bring him coffee, clean the chapel, stand outside with a sign that says, all celebrities sucks, a massage.
Enough! I get the point. I'm doomed.
You'll be fine. I'm calling in reinforcements. Then I'll need your help. Danny stood wide-eyed, staring at Frankie as if he'd grown 3 heads.
You're supposed to swoon.
Frankie ordered. Danny glanced at me for help. Frankie, you know how to flirt. You're forcing it. Just be yourself, I instructed.
Yeah, I've seen you throw down lines that could make a sailor blush.
Lenny said. Frankie turned and whispered,
I thought you were calling in reinforcements. How are Lenny and Danny supposed to help?
If you can charm them, you can charm anyone. I called Caleb for inspiration. Frankie brightened and looked over my shoulder.
Speaking of inspiration.
I followed his gaze to find Caleb in the doorway. He stopped when he realized all eyes were on him. His questioning gaze settled on me.
What's going on?
He asked, crossing the living room with his dimple showing. I smirked, knowing I now had the power to read him. He leaned to whisper,
You said I was meeting you to discuss our wager.
You are. I'm wagering on our wager. He eyed me with a broadening smile minus the dimple.
A double wager? I'm listening.
Frankie has to win the charming competition tonight. He needs your help. If you can teach him your moves and he wins, then I'll wager with you.
Full million versus a year?
He questioned. I nodded.
And if he doesn't win?
No wager. He paused, sizing up Frankie.
Counter wager. I'll agree to this on one condition.
What? The look in his eyes dried my throat and curled my toes.
Frankie will do whatever I tell him, no questions asked, and we finish our wager tonight.
That's 2 conditions, I said. He didn't budge. Counteroffer. Frankie will do whatever you say, and I will be wherever you tell me to be after my vacation.
When are you coming back?
We leave in a couple of days. We'll be back in a week.
If I ask you to come to my place at midnight?
I'll be there, I promised.
Deal. Kiss on it.
What? I was dragged into his arms and kissed. His arms wrapped around me, deepening the kiss. Before I was lost in his warmth and touch, a cough reminded me there were people still in the room.
Before you two start going at it like rabbits, can I just say this will never work?
Lenny said.
Frankie and I should swap places. I can charm the skivvies off anyone.
Skivvies?
Caleb and I exchanged glances.
No, I have to do this.
Frankie said.
Caleb, I'll do whatever you say.
Hang on.
Lenny interrupted.
This guy might be able to charm the ladies, but there's no way he can charm a man.
He's got me hooked.
Frankie said.
Yeah, but pretty boys are your thing. How about a real tough man like me?
I cocked my head to the side. Frankie crossed his arms. I guess he has a point in a very broad sense. He turned to Caleb.
Could you actually charm Lenny?
Caleb scanned Lenny.
I can try. I've never tried to seduce a man. Kind of goes against the grain.
Frankie nodded.
That's what I think about women.
Caleb, you turn on the charm every day you sit at the table, I said.
That's to get their money, not their phone number.
Think you can't do it? I asked, throwing a little taunt in there. He grinned.
If it means winning our wager, I'll do just about anything, kitten.
Then woo Lenny.
Danny chimed in. Caleb eyed Lenny and scratched his chin. He gave a shrug and walked over to Lenny, whose eyes were popping out of his head.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're close enough. Don't be trying to cop a feel of these quality goods.
Caleb smirked.
Believe me, there'll be no touching of any goods. I'll just say this.
He leaned over to whisper something in Lenny's ear. What started as a look of terror turned into intrigue, and then a grin. When Caleb straightened, Lenny said in awe,
This guy could talk the skivvies off a nun.
I'm in.
Frankie stated. What did you say to Lenny? I asked as Caleb neared.
Only what he wanted to hear.
Which is? I asked. Not that I really wanted to know what could cause Lenny to abandon his skivvies, but it was like watching a bad movie. I still wanted to know the ending.
Something to the effect that I'd empty a swimming pool and fill it with money so he could jump into it without skivvies.
That did it?
Game on.
Caleb smirked, pulling out his phone.
Jessica? Yeah. No, I don't have time to go over my schedule right now. Do you still have the suit that was too snug for me? Great. Bring it to all celebrities as soon as possible. We can talk later.
He ended the call and turned to Frankie.
Show me your moves, hit on me.
Frankie stared wide-eyed. Was he blushing? He was certainly stammering. Frankie, you've hit on Caleb before, I said, wondering at his sudden shyness.
It's not the same.
Yes, it is. Would it help if we left and gave you and Caleb time to work together?
Actually, that would be perfect.
Caleb said.
Can you keep an eye out for Jessica and bring the suit up? I have a feeling Frankie will be a whole new man once he wears it.
One of your custom-tailored suits?
Frankie asked with a sparkle of hope.
Yes, I was supposed to wear it to an event. The tailor made it a size too small. I think it will fit you perfectly.
Frankie beamed and turned to me.
He really does know how to sweep a man off his feet. You guys run along. We'll be just fine.
He shooed us out the door. As Lenny, Danny, and I made our way downstairs, I asked, "Do either of you know how to find a person using their last name only?"
It's difficult.
Danny said.
Who is it?
Mrs. Miller. Lenny gave a low whistle.
You're stalking the rich man's mother.
No, but I would like to get in touch with her. I think she should know her family has disappeared, I explained. Though it did feel as though I was squealing on Grayson.
You won't get into Grayson's pants by calling his mommy.
Lenny said. I'm not trying to get into his pants. I'm trying to find his family.
Don't you think his mom already knows her family is missing?
Danny asked. I won't know until I call her.
I'll try a web search and see what I can find.
It was nearing the time to head to Treasure Island to meet Charming for the face-off. I had delivered the suit to Frankie's apartment an hour ago. There was no yelling or crying. That was a good sign. Do you think we should head out? I asked Danny. She nodded.
If Frankie isn't charming by now, there's no hope for him. We can only hope that a fraction of Caleb rubbed off on him. But really, I have a feeling Vivian will be performing ceremonies for a week while Frankie is pressed into servitude.
We might as well get it over with. Let's go get them, I said, glancing over at Lenny, who had been snoring on the foyer couch for the last 30 minutes. We'll leave Lenny here. Danny and I walked up the stairs and knocked on Frankie's door. Are you ready? It's time to go. Caleb opened the door with a wide grin aimed directly at me.
You should never wager with me.
I peeked past him. Where's Frankie?
Over here.
Frankie said. I looked toward the voice and saw a handsome man in a fashionable suit with an open collar. His dark, medium-length hair was loose instead of slicked or tied back. The crisp white dress shirt brought out his white smile and his tan skin. His dark eyes were penetrating. It was almost as if he was replaced by Grayson. Danny's mouth swung open.
Damn, Frankie!
Frankie cocked a smile. I blinked. What did you do with the real Frankie? I asked Caleb.
He's role-playing. I never realized how well he could throw himself into a part. But once I explained how he should act, he took it and ran with it. I think he's trying to imitate a Latino Grayson. It works in my favor,
he added. I think it's the suit. We should go. Frankie crossed the room and flashed a smile at Danny, who nearly stumbled. Sheesh. If Frankie had this kind of power, the world was no longer safe.
Caleb and I are taking the Porsche. We'll meet in front of Treasure Island.
Caleb gave a wink and followed Frankie downstairs.
Dude, Caleb must be practicing some dark arts,
Danny said as we trailed them.
He sucked out Frankie's soul and replaced it.
I think he's just acting, like Caleb said.
I wonder how long it will last this time. Remember when he was stuck in the role of Worf from Star Trek? That lasted a month. I still have nightmares.
I remembered. It was the longest month in chapel history.
I was going to tell him about the information I dug up on Charming,
she said. You might as well wait. Frankie is in the zone. What did you find out? She smiled.